Hey, what's good, everybody? This is Aaron Muhammad, founder and project manager of EMProLtd, stands for Entrepreneurs Marketing Promotions Limited. Here in Chicago, Illinois, we're a web design, digital marketing, and branding agency focusing on helping entrepreneurs and small businesses. So, thank you guys for coming out. If you've seen some of the other webinars we've done, part of our workshops, you'll know that first off, I don't like the term webinar. I would call them webinar just because obviously people are used to it, but I prefer to use workshop because, like anything else, when it comes to information, it's only really effective when you use it. And in a workshop, you're used to you're in the mindset of I'm going to use immediately what I'm listening to, or what I'm learning, or what I'm practicing in this room, as opposed to webinar where you're just taking in information, which is awesome, but information is only useful, powerful when you're actually implementing, utilizing it, practicing it, whatever it may be. So break out the pen and pad. You're already on your phone or your laptop, which is awesome. Break out Notepad or your Notepad app. Better yet, if you're at your website, even better. We'll have a few activities for you guys to do and to share in the comments or email me, and then we're really going to get into it to making sure this information is powerful for you, meaning that you're actually using it and it's getting you the results you're looking for. Because this is how to use SEO and local SEO for your small business. And right now, it's a hot topic, but this is the thing about it. It's one of those things where it's better late than never. Let me tell you, if you haven't thought about implementing anything that we're going to talk about here, you don't even think about it. You need to start implementing it right now, because for the businesses that did not do this, and this is why I felt it was really important to get this workshop done ASAP. We helped a lot of businesses last year. They weren't thinking about it in 2019. They weren't thinking about 2019, and 2020 hit, and they were like, "Oh my God, people can't find us. People don't know about us, and this is a problem." And let me tell you, you do not want to take the chance with the way the business world is going now. You do not want to take the chance that you're behind the eight ball on this one. Okay. This is not playing around. This is our bread and butter. These are our businesses. We care about them. Let's make it happen. We work this hard to get businesses. We want them to be successful, right? So let's get into it. There's two forms of SEO, right? Time is money. I'm not here to waste your time. I'm here to, if anything, help you make money, help you make money, right? So there's two forms of SEO, right? Two forms of SEO, in that there is an SEO which is really dedicated more so to smaller market, right? A more targeted, specific market, your local market. That's called local SEO. And then there's the overall SEO, right, which is the original basic practice, if you will, of looking at your business all encompassing across the internet. Now, SEO stands for search engine optimization. Okay. So the idea is that search engines, and there's many out there, and many types, and this is why there's two different types of SEO, if you will, because in every search engine has a specific criteria it's looking for, but they all center around the same elements. So what we can do is we can make sure that our websites, our businesses online, and I will always come back to this, your website, okay, not your Amazon store, not your Etsy store, not your Zazzle store, not your Facebook page, not your eBay store, your website, okay, is optimized where it's really easy for people to find you online. That's what SEO is all about. So from the original practice where SEO really first started is the one over to the right, where you see it starts off with website and competitive analysis, right? So basically you get a good idea, holistic view of how your website competes against your specific competitors, but just in general, right? Your industry, your sector, whatever it may be. Restaurants, Italian restaurants in Chicago, Illinois can get down to that specific level. That's where that local SEO is going to start to come in when we're looking at that real local, very specific area. Optimize your page for keywords, the specific words that people would be putting in that ideally your website should come up with, right? So you want to have an idea of what those keywords are. I'll tell you right now, the one that misses everybody right off the bat, because they're thinking, oh, well, people know my restaurant, people know my website, people know my business. That's not a keyword, okay? A keyword would be for a person looking for a product and service that you produce, but not necessarily your business. Because they might not know your business, but they are interested in what you do, what you make, how you help them. That's the keyword, okay? Building the backlinks, in other words, for other sites to look at your website. Literally, they are attaching or linking to your website. That's what you want. That's all these aspects of old school, original, but still, of course, the basic practice of SEO. Okay, making sure we have some backlinks out there. We want to check for those. Content, video, blog, vlog, podcast, whatever it may be, add it to your website or off of your website. That's once again linked, has keywords, comes up in the search pretty high in the rankings. We'll talk about rankings in a moment. Submitting your website to a search engine. A lot of people think, hey, I have a website, so it's automatically going to show up in search engines. Sorry, my friend, it does not work that way. Okay, it definitely does not work that way, especially with as many websites out there as we're going to get into. Off-page promotion. How many other pages, websites, whatever it may be out there are looking, connecting, talking about my website? This could be press releases, this could be media coverage, this can be someone complaining, someone raving, someone loving, someone ranking, your product, service, website in general. Then once again, you notice we're going to come full circle. It's analysis. Okay? Ranking and traffic, getting an understanding of how our business is doing after all of these other practices have been taken care of. And then once again, we look at our on-page SEO. So that graph to the right is really the holistic view of SEO. It's taking what we consider on page and off page. Okay, keep that terminology in mind because we're going to touch on that quite a bit. On page SEO, off page SEO. But then it's bringing them all together to see how you truly perform back actually on your website. How is everything performing? So everything I needed to fix on and everything I needed to fix and clarify and make sure is connected off page. Off page just means it's happening on another website somewhere else, but it's connecting back to my website. On page meaning it's actually on my website within itself. Local SEO, okay, local search engine optimization, is literally that. How easy is it to find my business within my area? Now, yeah, obviously, if someone lives down the street, they're a potential customer, they pass by your business all the time. I can't tell you though, this is really interesting. I can't tell you how many times in real life, in other words, like walking down the street, brick and mortar businesses, that I've known people in neighborhoods that didn't even know a business was right around the corner. Okay. And if you're thinking like, well, that's not happening in my case, you're assuming. And if you know anything about business, you're a business owner, so I know you do. You know, assumptions are not things we want to do regularly, right? So, with that being said, local SEO is literally designed for you to make sure within your smaller market, okay, if you are a car repair shop in Indianapolis, Indiana, that's where local SEO is really going to focus. But let's get even tighter. You're in the northwest part of the city, the northwest portion of the city, okay? So it's really making sure, okay, you are a auto repair shop, northwest Indianapolis, Indiana. Very specific, right? The funny thing is that, like I said, assumptions, a lot of people think, well, yeah, but okay, how many could there really be in that area? Well, I'm in a big city, okay? I'm in Chicago, Illinois, and I can tell you right now, there's a lot of auto repairs, a lot of auto repair shops in Northwest Chicago, Illinois. And another major city like Indianapolis, I can almost imagine there's quite a few there as well, right? What we always want to do is we want to make sure whether it's a lot or it's a few or we're the only one, that when people need our type of business and service, they can find us. And that's where local SEO comes in. So we're going to talk about both of those because those are the two areas that so many businesses were scrambling late 2019 all throughout 2020 to get revved up. But here's the thing about SEO. It is not an overnight thing. I can build a big, beautiful, amazing, spotless, awesome website in one day. Snapping my fingers. Probably didn't hear my fingers snap. This one's downsides of not being able to see me is that I speak with my hands a lot. So I can build a great website one day. You could probably build a pretty cool website too in one day, depending upon your skill level and everything, the time you have on your hands. Here's the thing about it. SEO, I don't care how good you are. It ain't happening in one day. It's not happening in 1 week. It's not even happening in 1 month. Okay? You will see things change over a month. But when we get to our SEO timeline, let me show you. It takes time. So the sooner you start, the better. All right. About us. EMProLtd. What we do. Web design, digital marketing, branding. And that's what we focus on. And it's not about me, it's more about you, but I just wanted to let you know, a little bit of understanding about what my business does. And as you can see, we focus on SEO. We focus on local SEO as well. And I have a couple of good tips specifically that we can handle for you, but more importantly, tools that we use for our current clients, we use for our future clients, and definitely tools I would suggest if you're just getting started will be very helpful for you. So we'll go over those. You are in experienced, trusted hands. Okay. So what I do, my passion is marketing. It's always been creativity and marketing, and the best thing about it is I started a lot with like copywriting and things like that. And graphic design and copywriting is really where I started. And obviously, as things grew and changed, within the industry, the other aspects of digital marketing came about. But I've done everything from working with clients, from writing scripts for vlogs to podcasts, music videos, graphic design for those those specific areas, illustrations for cover art, illustrations for all kinds of stuff. Anything regarding marketing, promotions, branding, I've been involved with and been doing that for over 10 years now. Entrepreneur, pretty much since day one, as you can see, since since I was about 7 years old. So the thing about it is everything I'm talking about here is nothing new in that I haven't had to learn it, do it, teach others, train others, train some teammates as we brought on new people. And the thing about it is a lot of things we're going to go over are the foundation. So you can go as far as you want with it, but you got to know the foundation. That way, when you hire an SEO, and that's what in the business, that's what we say if you're working with a person who's an SEO specialist, they're called an SEO, just so you know. So when you start hearing that, people say, my SEO, and you're like, wait, are they talking about the SEO for the site or as an actual person? Usually, if someone says it like that, they're talking about a person. Okay, they're talking about a person who actually is a professional analyst and specialist, and they focus on search engine optimization. If you hire an SEO, you can then come back to this as reference to say, hey, you know about this? You know about that? What do you do about this? How do you help me here? It's always good to do that as a business owner. Don't necessarily, you don't have to be the expert in everything, but you for sure should have a basic foundation understanding. It's like basic accounting, basic finance, those little things in your business. You should have a good foundation in those areas just to make sure that you're working with a competent person, right? Or one of your teammates has that. So send your your admin, if they're going to handle this, send your business development specialist, your if you have a CIO, if you have a project manager, send them this way. Check out this workshop, check out our other videos and learn about it. Check out our blog and learn about it. And you can always check it out. It's in the description below. Links to our blog, links to our other webinars and workshops, and all of our future stuff coming up as well. All right, so like I said, we're going to get into it, nitty gritty. Notepads ready. Let's go. If you have two screens up, which would be awesome. Second screen, definitely want your website there. And this is where we're really going to start to get into getting our hands dirty with everything. Okay, so on page and off page. So that graph before showed it all holistically. This kind of separates the two. And it's good to separate the two first just to get an understanding of how much technical stuff goes into it. The technical aspect of SEO is really going to be on your site, which is really interesting because a lot of people from explaining it to them, I've always heard that, like, a lot of people think, oh, if it's something technical, it's going to be off, but it's going to be just as much off as it is on, and it's not. It's like a heck of a lot on your website. So if you are not the person who built your website, which is perfectly fine, this is one thing, and this is why, if you notice in that earlier shot, I called out that specifically myself and then most of my teammates, we're what you would consider full stack digital marketers and web developers. The majority of my team and you know, because like I said, mostly I had to train a lot of people, but a lot of experts and freelancers I brought in. The majority of my team, they can handle both the technical as well as the aesthetic, right, of a website. Not all web developers can. And it's very important that you call out that this on site, if you notice these on page SEO practices, site performance, right? So we want to know the speed of our website. We want to know, make sure that all of our images are compressed, that we have keywords added into the descriptions and the descriptions that of our content on the website, but also within the actual file. So images, videos, you want keywords in the names. Okay, so I'll say that again. Site performance, that includes the speed, the load time of our website. Like how long does it take for actual pages to come up, right? From the home page to every other page after that. The compression, in other words, is the content, the video, the images, are they optimized for all devices? In other words, that they load fast, they look good, they're not pixelated. Do we have our keywords added into the names of those images and those pieces of content, as well as the descriptions, right? Not all web developers are going to do that for you, okay? And that can greatly affect your website. URL structure, can't tell you enough. That we can have a whole video on its own. URL structure means you could have a really long URL, and you know what that means? It's going to take some time, a lot longer for that site to get picked up by a search engine, which means it's not going to show up high in ranking. And ranks, when we talk about ranks, you're going to want to rank high. You want to rank high whether you know what I'm going to talk about, but believe me right now, you want to rank high. Anchor text. We could probably have a whole nother video about anchor text, whole nother area there. HTML tags. Is it tagged properly? Happens a lot. There's a lot of free services out there. Those links in the descriptions about HTML tags. Broken links. This is where people really hurt their own websites with broken links. Okay, they'll have a link on the website that goes nowhere. In other words, somebody clicks on it, takes them to a page that says 404 error, or this page no longer exists, and that actually hurts your website. That actually hurts your website's ranking. Okay, so it's bad enough that that website that you went to has that error. That hurts your website. Keyword density. Where are the keywords? Are you using them enough? Are you using them in the proper spaces? Google governs this, believe me, more than anybody, and it can hurt you if you're not doing it properly. Internal linking. Are you linking to other pages on your website? You can have broken links within your website. People do this all the time. This is the worst amongst blogs. People link to a blog that isn't even there yet. Don't do that. Don't put blog hyperlink, and then it takes me to a page and there's nothing on that page. That, once again, that's not a broken link, but that's just a bad link. And then of course content. And I'm going to call this out now. Keep in mind, I'm going to call these two out: content and site performance. It's going to come up. Just put that as a note to the side. Site performance and content and site performance. Think about that for a second. Just put it to the side. Off page. Link building, connecting to other websites. So it kind of goes right back to that broken links. Make sure those links are cleaned up and you're actually going somewhere. Social signals. Are you linked to anything on social media? Is social media looking back at you? Facebook pages, Instagram, things like that. But of course, Facebook is a lot more searched. Twitter is searched more. Okay, so you want those types of social signals. We'll talk about that too. Guest posting goes to your blog, right? People posting on your blog, you can post on their blog. That helps you a great deal. Image and video sharing. It's so crazy, and I'm not touching on this as much in this session, but if you have questions about image and video sharing and how that helps you with SEO, it is so crazy how, like, people used to post on, remember Pixka and Photo Bucket and Google Images, all that stuff, and they're like, I'm just putting pictures out there, maybe even their business and stuff. They don't know that that can actually help them a great deal, and if it's been there for some years, it's actually helping them a lot. And a lot of people don't know that. Social bookmarking, people bookmarking your pages, that helps. Directory submissions. That's some local SEO. Okay. And then brand mentions. Do people talk about you? Are you being shared amongst other major websites? Okay. So both the technical SEO and the local SEO tactics you need to have in mind about these are the things that come together and drive your page higher on search engine rankings, but most importantly, Google. We'll talk about that next. Okay. So business. We are running businesses here. Whether you're an entrepreneur just starting out, don't know what you're about to start, but you want to make sure that that website that you're about to build is going to be beautiful and perform well. SEO is not a business goal. SEO helps you reach, attain, surpass, achieve, whatever term you want to use, your business goal. Business goal, marketing strategy, SEO tactic. That's how you want to look at it. This is my goal. This is the result I want for my business. Here are the marketing strategies and the activities I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to implement. And I'm going to have, of course, an SEO component to that to reach to reach that business result, that business goal. Okay, just have a short term, midterm, long term. Because like I said, SEO is the long game, but it pays off more, literally. Okay, the better your SEO, and this is not me, just from my experience, this is literally the experience of the major SEOs out there. You're talking about the Neil Patels, the people who've been doing this and they've worked with the best in the business. Okay. If you don't know who Neil Patel is, link in the description below. Okay. That is an SEO, not beyond specialist, mastermind. And I can tell you right now, I wouldn't mention somebody that I haven't seen the work and respect the work, and I've seen the actual result. The thing about SEO is, yes, the short-term goal might be about 2-3 months. Long-term goal may be 1, 2, 3 years. But the thing about SEO is, in that time, if you spend that time dedicated to good SEO practices, you will definitely, cannot stress this enough, you will minimize the amount of dependency you have on paid traffic. In other words, paid advertisement, Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, whatever it may be. Google ads and YouTube ads are the same thing. But you will you will literally take away your dependency of those things. And the scary and sad part is that because advertising is a lot easier than SEO, but SEO is more cost effective and actually lasts longer. Like I said, PhotoBucket. I don't know about y'all, but I haven't been in PhotoBucket in probably 5, maybe 6 years, if that. But there's photos of my business that I used to post and put into PhotoBucket and share that still drive traffic to my website. Okay, so think about that for a second. That was free. I did that maybe 8 years ago for free, and it's still driving traffic to my website. No advertisement is going to do that. Okay, so if a short-term goal, just to give you an example here, increase targeted leads in my market. I want some content marketing. I want some blogs. I want videos, showcasing, hey, what I do in my community, what I do in my area. Let people know, hey, Chicago, Illinois is my spot. This is where I help people. I help businesses here all the time. Just using myself as an example. Content optimization. I will ensure that that content that I post on YouTube, that content I post on Tumblr, the content that I'm posting and getting shared out in a press release has good backlinks to my website, connecting back to my website, helping me out drive more traffic back to the website. Specifically, information about my products and services, blog entries on my website where I can, of course, like I said, remember my goal is to get leads, right? Okay, for this new market that I'm going after. So I would have a backlink to a place on my website where I can capture the lead. Maybe they can download a free ebook. Okay, maybe they can, better yet, just sign up and subscribe for my newsletter. something like that, but I can capture that lead. Long-term goal, you see that optimize on-page SEO keywords to increase search rankings. That takes some time, but look what I'm going to get out of it. My goal is my business goal is to generate revenue from new affiliate program. So I don't mind putting that time into 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 10 months, 12 months, a year, 2 years, because my ultimate goal with all of that is to be building up a revenue stream with that affiliate marketing program. So I can make that mailbox money. Okay. I could just have people come into my business, bringing me money. Hey, they out there pushing my products as well. And now we're working together, right? From an affiliate standpoint. So establish your business goals that SEO will help you reach. Make SMART goals. You don't know what SMART goals are? I got you. Link in description has a link to download a SMART goals template, because you want to start developing these SMART business goals so you can start building your SEO around it. Because I know what we're all here to do. We all want to make more money for our business, get the business off successful, and use SEO to do it. But we got to be smart about it, right? Work smarter, not harder. Budget time, and if you need to, budget towards SEO, but see where you are with your business first and what those goals are. That way you know if I need to hire an SEO or if I need to learn a little bit more before I hire somebody and try to get some practices on my own. And what we're going to go through here, you'll be able to do on your own. Okay. And like I said, take a course on SEO, watch this webinar, watch this workshop. We have a couple others coming up. And there's a bevy of information out there. And there's some more links in the descriptions for you to check out. Links to some good resources. So what is SEO exactly? Once again, overall, let's say the most respected definition is the process of improving the quality and quantity of website traffic. But keep in mind, start off with quality first. Quality to your website and or web page from search engines. Okay, and it focuses on unpaid organic results, as we call it. Some people say natural, but I've always used organic, and most people I know use organic. So if you hear organic results, organic traffic, organic results, that means somebody's using SEO. They're not using paid ads. They're not using Facebook ads, Google ads, Bing ads. They're not doing that. They're not paying for advertisement. They're not putting it in a magazine. They're focusing on these SEO tactics that I'm going over to drive organic traffic, more people from search engines to their website and to places on their website. And it can be all kinds of places. Like you see here, image search. Remember I said photo bucket, Google Images, video search, YouTube, academic search, huge academic search. Okay. Everything from academic directories, universities' websites, and more. News search, come on, can't beat news search. News, I mean, especially online where everyone's consuming their news and information, of course, industry specific, which is called vertical search engines, and we're going to go over a few of those as well. So there's many ways to do it, but this is what SEO is all about: organic traffic. But I love the fact, and this is why I said this is the most respected definition: improving the quality, targeted. We're not going after I just want traffic. I'm sorry, I don't work that way. That doesn't give me money. That doesn't get you money as a business owner. You need people who are going to be interested in your business, in your product, and your service. So you want the quality web traffic, not the quantity. Because if 100,000 people visit your website and only 5 of them are customers, that's horrible, right? But if 500 people visit your website, think about that for a second. If only 500 people visit your website, but 50 of them are customers, because it's targeted. Might have a real small market, because I'm using an example because that actually happened. That's somebody I worked with in the past. They had a really small market. So they didn't get hundreds of thousands of people at their website every day, every week. They got really small numbers, but those numbers converted because they were focusing on a market that no one else was really looking at. Okay. This is why it's important. Why is it important? This is why it's important. SEO equals visibility. And that's why I said targeted. 93% of your customers won't go farther than the first page of Google. 93%. So, look out of this group of people. These are the only ones that may see you. Because most people don't go past the first page. I know people to this day that didn't even know that there were multiple pages. I had an intern work for me, which was awesome. And this young man said, I didn't even know there was a second page of Google. And I was like, well, how did you not know that? But he said, because I don't go past like the third or fourth result that comes up at the top. And that very first result is normally an advertisement. So that means the second, third, and fourth are the companies that are doing the SEO, and that's it. So think about that. That's why I said it's very important that we target. Very important. That guy went from not knowing that there were multiple pages past Google to being able to develop websites, So that's why I wanted to do stuff like this, because a little information goes a long way. I live this stuff on a daily basis. You don't necessarily do it, but you want to be on the first page of Google because you don't want to take a chance that that young man that was my intern at one point will become your customer who didn't know that there was a page beyond the first page. And you're sitting right there on the second and third pages. Oh, and I've had clients that were like, man, I just cannot get past that fourth page. I cannot get past that third page. I've had quite a few people who started that way. And what it came down to is they were missing on a few things we're going to go over here. But you want to be on the first page of Google. You really want to be on the first page of Google. Why? Because 94% of all searches, okay, I can't wait to see the 2020 numbers. But as of this point in 2019, 94% were searched on a Google property. Google property. Okay, not just Google, Google property. Google almost owns the digital earth. Okay, Google search, Google images, YouTube, and Google Maps. All Google. Remember, YouTube is a Google property. And when people do, remember I said video search? Yeah, YouTube, leaps and bounds owns that. Maps, Google pretty much owns that too. Apple Maps are close. Apple Maps are very close, but Google Maps still pretty much dominates. Images, it's still Google. So you want to rank on the first page because YouTube and Google Images show up at the top of a Google search as well, depending upon the content that's being looked for and the keywords that were used, right? But I know every last one of us here uses Google Images for something. We were looking for pictures or something. We're like, I know what that looks like. Most likely you're using Google Images. It's a video, it's a music video, it's a webinar, it's a workshop, right here, YouTube. All of that's Google. So you want to be there. This is from JumpShot, an awesome company that pulls in data like this. Great work over there. So remember I said to keep that in mind, site performance and content. So a little birdie told me from Google a long time ago about what they call the SEO Trinity. Now, they have a different term for it. They've probably coined it, so I'm making sure I call it a little something different. I'm calling it the SEO Trinity, not the other thing that they called it. But basically, it's technical, speed, and content. Okay, site performance, that was that technical piece. So all of the stuff on the back end, HTML tags, your meta descriptions, your meta tags, schema markup, bunch of stuff. I know you're probably like, what does all that mean? Technical, in a nutshell. But the speed portion, you're not going to become an SEO super expert necessarily right from here. That's not the goal. And so you know how this impacts your business, and that way you can start using even the most basic pieces to help you, both basic aspects to help you. And then you can talk to your SEO specialist to make sure it's getting done right. But that technical feeds into the speed of the website. So making sure images and videos are the proper size to where they load faster, to where your content loads faster. That way the websites come up faster. Because let's be honest, in this, we're in a minute rice kind of mindset out here nowadays, right? No one wants to sit there and wait for some rice to cook on the oven. We do it, put in the microwave, boom. Not even 2 minutes later, I've probably had my rice, right? So the speed of your website and how it loads and content loads on it affects your rank. If it's slow, Google does not want to put that on the first page of a Google search. Why? Because they're like, no one's going to stay on your website. No one's gonna wait there for a page to load. So speed means a lot, and then it goes right into content. The speed of what? The speed of the content, but what kind of content is on there? Is it quality content? Is it pixelated content? Is it content that has a stop and go? We've seen some bad video on a lot of websites in the past. Is it content where the image, for whatever reason, broken image, what they, sometimes the image doesn't fully load on a website, so it gives you this little broken symbol, an icon? Is it something like that, or is it content that people are going to stay there and consume, right? Because I'll be honest with you, the funny part about it is that if you went through all social media sites, you would see a lot of bad content. But there's so much there, it easily outweighs, whatever's up there, even if it's bad. So, technical keywords, adding a site to a search console, schema markup. That's in those technical aspects, both on and off page in some cases, right? The content, though, that content piece, the pictures, the videos, the blog articles. Do you have the blog articles up? Do the blog articles link to anything? Like, I don't know, another page on the website, maybe? And then the speed of it loading. How long do visitors stay on your website? Are they just going to the website for a second and leaving? Oh, wait, I went to the wrong thing. Because it's not targeted enough with those keywords, right? Like I said, it's focus on the quality, not the quantity. Quantity is great, but focus on that quality first. Make sure it's quality traffic, and Google will reward you, because if they're seeing 500 people come to your website every day and they're staying there for 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 seconds, 2, 10, 20 minutes, great. But if they're seeing 100,000 people come to your website every day and they literally stay there for not even a second, that's actually not going to help you. That's actually going to start to hurt you, because they're like, everybody goes to your site. So, but they're not staying, which means they probably are not going to the right site, which means we don't want to put you at the top of the page. That is literally how it's thinking on the Google side of things. And once again, we want Google. Okay. So, blogging and vlogging. Why blogging and vlogging? Why am I only focusing on blogging and vlogging right now? Because let me tell you something about blogging and vlogging. Your website receives 40% more traffic from one quality blog post than 10 social media posts on every major platform. I read that verbatim because it's important. That means LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Tumblr, Pinterest, okay? Even Reddit, even Quora, even Medium. You put all those together, great. But if you have one solid blog post, and when I say solid, I mean good length of content, links to other pages on the site, maybe even off-site links back to the blog. So you got a backlink and you have a link within an internal website link. Good keywords. You are looking at a substantial amount of traffic from just that one. Okay? It's so easy to do this, to make a great blog post or flip it around, re-engineer it, make a vlog, make a video, transcribe that, and post it as a blog post on your website, and have the video in the blog. I'll say it again. Make a video, 2-minute video, 1-minute video, whatever the content may be. Transcribe it. Okay, you can get someone to transcribe it from, many of the gig and freelance sites. We My team, we actually have a transcriber on our team. All he does is focuses on making video edits and transcribing videos and editing blogs. That's what he focuses on. That's his main, he's an editor primarily, right? So what he'll do is we'll make a video, he'll transcribe it, and then he'll go over the blog technically, right, of the transcription. And now we have a vlog video post and a blog. Take that video and put it in the blog and post it on your website. Of course, share it out, but my point is this. You could make 20 Facebook posts, great Facebook posts, all with links back to your website, and they still would not equal the power of that one blog post. So take the time to make one solid piece of content, wipe your hands for a moment, and then focus on something else, or work so hard and diligently on 20 social media posts that may get you the traffic. And you spend 2, 3, 4 times more because you still want to make sure it's a quality piece of content, right? But now you're making 20 of them. You see my point? Work smarter, not harder. If your website does not have a blog, add one right now. And I'm not even joking about that. Go right to the back end, go to the dashboard, and add a blog. And do one of two things. Hey, you don't know how to write one? Fine. Find a freelancer, find a gigger, person on your team. Okay. There's teams like mine. We have literally 2 copywriters who write blogs. You need advice, we're always happy to offer and share tips and tricks and advice and things like that. Obviously, we're doing something like this. Or flip it around and take the time to develop and learn how to write a blog yourself. Right? And actually, there's some really cool links in the description about that, whether you're doing it yourself or working with someone else. Don't hesitate on this. I cannot stress this enough. This is one of the most easy wins. Easy. I can't stress easy enough. Not an ad, not paying for an ad, just a simple blog. Just a simple blog. Okay. Local SEO. Local SEO. Now, the thing about local SEO is that there's a lot of directories. There's a lot of them out there. You have definitely heard of Yelp. You may not be using it regularly, but you've heard of it. Yelp is one of these, just like many others, business directories, review sites that if you just take a little time, it can work like one of the most powerful tools right there. And once again, it's free. The basics of it are free. They make a profile for you already. All you have to do is claim it. Okay. Then we have the others from Yellow Pages, Trustpilot, Angie's List. I brought this up earlier, industry directories, right? Because then we can get very specific. Like Angie's List is a little bit more specific to the types of businesses that are on Angie's List. Trustpilot is a little bit more like Yelp, where it has way more reviews, but Yelp is obviously known for restaurants, but Yelp, all types of businesses are on Yelp, right? Merchant Circle, which is more like business to business businesses, as opposed to Yelp, Angie's List, Trustpilot, which is typically from consumers. But there's so many. And just for you guys, I prepared a list. There's a blog post and there's a full list of the top 45 or more. Actually, we keep adding to that list. Top 45 or more online directories. Number one thing with these is you have to go to your profile. If you have to make a profile, that's a few of them. Most of them have a profile for you already when you incorporate, which is awesome. It automatically pops up because they're checking these directories all the time. But claim your profile, verify your profile, and then update your profile. These are 4 of the big ones. Angie's List, Trustpilot, Yellow Pages, Yelp. But there's a lot more. Okay? And I tell you right now, it is literally the fastest, most inexpensive way to be found online by new customers when we're talking about off-site. Blogs on site. Literally. How, but also why would you want to use local SEO, okay? Reviews. Because reviews are word of mouth. We all know how powerful word of mouth is. If your best friend tells you about this really cool shop to go to, the numbers support that you're most likely going to at least look into it. Keyword I said was look into it. What are you going to do? How are you going to look into it? Google search. Okay. So customer reviews, customer service. Use these sites as a customer service tool. I don't know why it gets missed a lot. People post questions there. People post, experiences that they've had. I've literally answered people who just said, hey, you know what? I didn't know they had a physical location. I said, yeah, you got a physical location. Here we are. And they were shocked that I replied to a post. And it's like, it's very simple because that person not thinking I had a physical location at the time, they could have easily bypassed my business at that point. Because they're thinking, oh, well, it is a physical location. I want to go in. I want to talk to somebody to help me with my website. I literally got business by just simply answering, yes, we have a physical location. The address is changing here. Right now, it doesn't have it up here, but we're going to be opening up. When we open up, boom, we're going to update this page. And sure enough, we did. Once again, location. Claim your listing, claim your location. What if you have multiple locations? I had a business, and I'll never forget this, a cell phone business. It was a cell phone company, and they were in California. He had 3 locations. The thing he was hurting himself the most with was not making sure each location was listed. And the crazy part about it is that every location had a slightly different name because it was the name of the business and then the area that it was in California. But he was trying to run it all out of one profile, and that kept hurting him because people were like, "Oh, well, this specific," and it was constantly the specific person gave really great customer service, really good help, but she wasn't at the location that he had listed there. She was at one of the other locations. So people were like, they would reply, "Hey, I can't find them. They're not there. The person that gave you this great service, they're not there." So what we did is we went to, this is Google My Business. We made sure we had a Google My Business for every location. We had a Facebook page for every location. We had to make sure we made sure we claimed the Yelp page for every location. Okay. So if you have multiple locations, you have multiple chances, and these show up high on Google ranks, just like that Yelp example I just gave you. Post your changes regularly. One location is going to be closed because it's being remodeled. Update that listing immediately. This location is going to be closed for the holidays. Update. Electrical outing. Update. Make sure you're managing these. Okay. And accurate info. Like I told you, the comment that I received was, doesn't say you guys have a physical location. I would love to speak to somebody in person. And I immediately jumped in when I got the notification that somebody had left a comment like that, or just a comment in general. And I said, nope, physical location will be open in the next few weeks. We could chit chat online, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as we open up, boom, you got me. Make sure they all have the right information, such as the phone number, the hours, the products and services, maybe that you offer at different locations, or at that one specific location if you only have one, and your logo. It's just like a Facebook page. Your logo is actually more powerful than a Facebook page. Once again, notice I talked about the employee gave great customer service. Notable people. So if I have a new manager, I would post that. Hey, the new manager's at this location. Awesome, 20 years experience, whatever it may be. That kind of thing. Because it builds a relationship. Because this is local SEO. And for all of us small business owners out there, we know the power of being involved in a community. People want to come out and support us, and we want to support them. Local SEO is branding and business credit. Okay? So the same way you would think about your business credit, right? It's your identity, and it separates your identity from your business identity from your personal identity. Local SEO protects your business identity. Like I said, if you have multiple locations, that's one key thing to keep in mind. If you have multiple locations, it's separating that. It's making sure that each identity is listed properly, and it's making sure that each piece of information is just like if it's, if you have children and you're literally making sure that they're their own person, right? They're representing themselves. It's the same thing. It's the same principle. You want to make sure that each location or your one location is properly listed, is verified, is protected. You claim it, you own it, you manage it, you update it. Builds credibility, right, with financial institutions and professional institutions when you establish that business credit. The same thing works for local SEO in the fact it builds credibility with your prospective customers because you are running the show. You're not just basically having a blank slate. It shows your business is listed here on Google My Business or Yelp or something, but you're not updating it. So they're like, I don't even know if this person's in business. Another example, I've lived a very, very, very busy business life. So I always have a business story. And I tell you right now, there was a laundromat that during the pandemic, no one went to because they always thought they were closed because their business listing on Google showed that they were closed. Here's where they made the error. They closed before the pandemic. They closed to remodel. They remodeled, never updated their Google listing. So it kept showing that it was closed for remodeling, closed for remodeling, closed for remodeling for almost 4 months. One day I actually went up there and I let them know. I was like, hey, you know your Google listing has it that you're, and the owner was completely shocked, like, I don't really do that. But no, we've been open this whole time. So imagine how much, thankfully they were still in business. Thankfully they're still in the business to this day. But imagine how much business they just lost. In 4 months, can you afford to lose 4 months of potential new customers? 4 months? Especially what we just went through in the pandemic and quarantine? No. Get that Google My Business listing up and running, please. For yourself, for me, for make me happy. Come on, for both of us, right? Business credit, control your business identity within the business and the trade community. Remember I said there's certain directories that kind of do the same thing? Local SEO, okay, if you're doing it properly, especially with some of those business directories, your business identity online, it protects you because this used to happen and it's actually going back up again. What some people would do, they would try to claim listings and they would link other websites to another person's business on that listing. So in other words, let's say you're Chicago Mechanics. That's the name of your business, right? Well, a underhanded, very unsavory and definitely not honest business or con person will try to claim Chicago Mechanics and then link their own business or link their own interest to the Chicago Mechanics listing. Now, these business directories and online directories do a lot to make sure the right people are doing it, but there's so much nefarious work going out here, you never know, right? So the sooner you create and claim your name, the better. And I'll tell you this, because you know what? I know it's a lot of information, and there's a lot of different business directories out there. So what I'll do is I will make sure if you guys put in the comment local SEO. Put a comment in local SEO. Everybody puts a comment in local SEO. I will tag and reach back out with a link to a tool to help you manage your local SEO. So put local SEO in the comments and I'll make sure to connect with you to get you a tool to help you with local SEO because there are a lot of sites out there. You want to protect your name across those sites. But here are the three big boys. Here are the three ones that you want to focus on the most. Google My Business. Okay, free listing. Can't stress that enough. Anything that's free that we can use to help our business, we need to be doing it. And it's free and it's definitely a positive and it's a real tool that works. Google My Business is a free local SEO profile. Okay, it will get attention right away. That comment that I received came from Google My Business. All right, and I literally had just established that profile within days. I would always suggest if you don't have a Gmail, create a Gmail account because it makes it really easy to log in and out and just kind of connect all your Google tools. And there's a lot of the Google tools that you'll need for SEO, but just for your business in general. Okay, update your profile regularly. That tool, if you mention, like I said, local SEO in the comments, I'll make sure that tool actually will help you with Google My Business as well. But whether you're using that or not, Google My Business you want to keep updated just as much as the other two tools we're about to go over. Okay, post daily. Make sure your information is accurate and post daily. It's very simple. It could be the same thing you would do on your social media. You should just treat this way. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, Yelp. Yelp is a very valuable tool you should be using. If you're not using, you probably have a business Yelp page and you don't even claim it. You got to claim that thing. Claim it, at least update it at the very least. Because here's the thing about it, and this is with business in general. You might not be doing something, but your customer does. So you may say, I don't use Yelp personally. And I know a lot of business owners who don't use Yelp personally, and that's fine. But their customers do, and that's what matters. Claim your Yelp profile, update it regularly, link it to your website with the swiftness. I can't stress this enough. If you got that blog, Google My Business to the blog, Yelp to your homepage, and boom, working like gangbusters because now you have backlinks all over the place, right? Add pictures. If you haven't regularly, add them. Share your profile with your customers. Let them know, hey, we're on Yelp. We're on Google My Business. If you have a newsletter, perfect. If you do text message marketing promotions, even better. Let them know, hey, we're now on Yelp. The business is on Yelp. The owner that probably doesn't use Yelp, but the customer most likely does. So send it to them. You never know. Don't assume. Like I said, treat your Google My Business just like, if not more. Think of it as a Facebook that's just on steroids, right? A Facebook like page on steroids. Because Facebook like pages are very valuable. Claim your business, make sure it's the right name, do all that. I would always say in this order, Google My Business, Yelp, Facebook like page, and the level of importance. Make sure that Google My Business page is updated regularly. Make sure your Yelp page has all the accurate information and you claim it. Make sure that Facebook like page, okay? Make sure that Facebook like page, you built it. Because remember, this one you have to build. It doesn't automatically generate for you. You have to build it. You built it. You make sure some content is added on a decent basis. I would suggest add a messenger bot. There's a ton of free messenger bots. There's a free messenger bot built in. I could suggest a few messenger bots if you're interested, guys. But I'm telling you right now, put in that messenger bot, and you know what the messenger bot does? Answer a few questions and takes them deeper into what you make if you start building out a sales funnel. If you don't know how to build out a sales funnel or to develop a sales pipeline, there's a link to that workshop that we conducted a few weeks ago. So check it out in the description. It's how to build a sales funnel. But use that messenger bot to that because it is automated and it helps you. And you can still post here daily. You should. You should post on a regular basis. Maybe not daily, but you should post on a regular basis. But levels of importance: Google My Business, Yelp profile, Facebook like page. Those are the three you definitely want to have. I would suggest a fourth, but that's three to start with. Okay. So remember I said from the very beginning, SEO timeline, and as we're winding down here, SEO timeline started with less than 7,000 page views a week. Look what happened in 2 years. 60,000 a week. Now, the details of some of the work done, if you see it down there, look from December 2018 to February 2020. That's a lot of work that is not being listed here. That's just the work that's clearly called out to go along with what we've just been talking about. But keep in mind, that's 2 years, almost 2 full years, right? But it's very important to understand that in almost 2 years, that's substantial growth. Here's the funny part about this whole situation, about this example that I'm giving you right here. Okay. Imagine what the advertising cost would be. For anybody here who's never ran a Facebook ad, Google ad, YouTube, whatever it may be, if you're thinking $5 a month or a week would get you these results. And at the same time, we're talking about, we want to translate to sales too, right? Because you're paying at that point. You're sadly mistaken. If you're getting 7,000 views a week, and then you increase and you start getting 60,000, almost 100,000, right? 60,000 views per week to a specific page on your website. Okay? For $5 in ads, you're sadly mistaken. And I listed some of the tactics that were done here to get this result, right? But I'm using this, and this is actually a lower hanging fruit result, but I'm giving you this because I'm showing you this is the time it takes. You can't expect it overnight. It's not going to work overnight. So you have to start immediately to start seeing those results. Because if you notice, gradually from that December to the February, from December 2018 to February of 2019, this is a decent increase. And it didn't fall. That was the cool part about it. If you notice, it doesn't go back down. It doesn't go below 10,000 once we get to August of that year. It just keeps going up because more and more work. But this is the thing about SEO. It's about longevity. See, if I'm using the keyword here in December 2018, and it's the same keyword I'm fighting and using for on a regular basis all the way up into February 2020, Google's like, oh no, this is their keyword. They're using this. They're working hard at this. They're posting it up. They're making good content. The site works fast. They're making sure that the content is fresh and new and regularly being posted and is consistent, and they're on local SEO and their own page SEO is working. Google's rewarding you at that point, and they're giving you 60,000 people. That example I gave you, that's 60,000 target, 60,000 targeted. Okay? So even if only 1% of that is coming back as customers, even 2, 3, 4, 5% of that are coming back as customers, right? Over 2 years. Because the conversion, if we get a conversion of 10%, which is pretty decent, right? For free, I'm not running any ads anytime soon after that because I have the formula. And that's why I said when I started off in digital marketing, my first area was copywriting, blogs, vlogs, descriptions. Goes a long way. Goes a long way. If you don't know it, that's okay. There's plenty of courses to help you guys out. Like I said, there's links there to help you guys out to find the right ones. But most importantly, this is the key. The key comes down to this. It's consistency. And it's taking the time to say, you know what, I don't know it now, but I'm going to know it in the future. I'm going to work with the right people to help me. This is a real result from a real client. If you put the time in, it's going to work out for you. You're going to get the page views. You're going to get the targeted traffic that you want, which leads to sales. Okay, so keys to SEO success. Claim all your business directories. Link to that blog post with a full listing of the top directories is in the description. Use it right away. Start claiming them. And if you already claimed a few, that's great. Now you just need to start updating them. Request reviews from your customers and post-it feedback. Right? It's great if they're giving you feedback via email, but you say, hey, can you guys post a comment if you like our business, you like our service? That'd be awesome. And let's be honest, that some reviews might not come back. You can't say, hey, only give me good reviews. Request reviews because you could actually I have a great example in a future post I'll do of how somebody took a really bad comment. Somebody left a really bad comment and review for a client. And we tailored the way to properly respond so we could say, hey, let's fix the issue that they had. And sure enough, it was an issue that was totally out of the client's control. But most importantly, hey, still, they want to take care of the customer, right? So we made sure that the Facebook page, because it was on the Facebook page, we made sure that the Facebook page called out the information that everybody needed to know go forward to make sure that it didn't happen again. And we were able to help the customer. right? But you want reviews and you want to post those reviews. So make sure you're requesting reviews because people forget. Okay, I just left like 5 really good reviews for some businesses that I was, I must admit, they had great customer service, they had great products. I had to leave good reviews, and that's the thing about it. When people are compelled to do that, they may just forget. Hey, I didn't know you had a page where I could do that at. So maybe you're just reminded. Run an SEO analysis check. If you don't know how to do it, boom, got you. Description. I got you. You know that. This is what I do. I love what I do. Do who I love, for the people that I love in my community, which is small business owners and entrepreneurs. It's a link to a really cool SEO analysis tool by that awesome dude I mentioned, Neil Patel. I'm only mentioning him because I've trusted his work. I've seen his work, respect his work. So, it's definitely no paid endorsement, anything like that. It's just somebody I respect, and I think they do really great work for businesses out here. Keys. Once again, create the blog post. If you don't know how to do it, there's information there for you. I have, me, a lot of personality here, but I can't stress this enough. You gotta have a blog post. At least one. At least one a month. Come on. It's amazing how much traffic you get just from that blog post. Use your top 10 or 25 keywords. Don't know how to find keywords? SEO analysis tool. Boom. It'll help you with that as well. But you want to put in a new content every week. Where's that content going to go? Website. Where's that content going to go? Google My Business. Hey, if you got the time and you have the bandwidth, if you hire the right team, maybe you have somebody else, maybe you have my team, maybe you have an individual, maybe they can help you out and be more efficient to get it on Google My Business, on Facebook, on Yelp. That local SEO tool that I have a link to in the description will help you with that as well. Post new content on your website, like I just mentioned, and social media with links back to your website. If you're going to social media, back to your website. Your landing page, your blog, your vlog, your podcast, whatever it may be, post it and make sure it has a link back to that website. Those are the keys to SEO success. That is SEO and local SEO in a nutshell. If you have any more questions, always, always, always happy to help. Our Twitter is strictly for answering questions and helping small businesses, entrepreneurs, creatives with online advertising, social media, email marketing, web design, SEO, e-commerce, and of course a lot more. If you have questions about these areas, tag on Twitter, ask EMProLtd. And I typically jump on there and answer questions in video. If it's a lot of questions, I might have to do a lot of text, but I try to do as much in video as possible because I like video. So, can't you tell? So, jump on there if you have questions. Number one, I'll once again leave you with this. Number one, if you want a link to that tool I was speaking about to help you with local SEO, put local SEO in the comments. Check the descriptions because in the description below, we have links to the SEO analysis tool. We have links to the ultimate local SEO listing. We have links to other resources to help you learn about SEO that I have mentioned here. And of course, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for joining us for this workshop. Have an awesome one. Like I said, it's a workshop. So that pen and pad, you should have been going to town with it. Your notepad should have a bunch of awesome notes in it. Let me know what you were able to do for your own business. Share a link to your website. Okay, let's chat. Let's get this going and let's get your business off to an amazing start with SEO and local SEO for your small business, your entrepreneurial venture. Once again, my name is Aaron Muhammad. I am founder and project manager of EMProLtd here in Chicago, Illinois. Happy to help with any web design, digital marketing, and branding projects. Reach out to us. And remember, connect with us on Twitter. If you have any questions, ask EMProLtd. Have a great one, everybody. Peace.